you're making breakfast and there's eggs up in a nest. So you go up there, you get the eggs, and
Are
come
we
back
Fiona
down.
from Shrek?
No. Yeah, the orphanage is better. Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're breaking down our picks for the top 5 and one worst, level 5 Warlock Spells.
We finally are there. We are the last spell level warlocks get before ever, actually, technically. They get these things called Mystic Arcanums, which will... Mystic Arcanums, I think what they call?
Yeah,
I think
Mystic
so.
Arcanum.
Yeah, they're their upper level slots. But like this is the pinnacle of Pact Magic. From here on out, you're only getting more 5th level slots. So what you pick here is like, okay, great. I'm gonna be using these probably the most for the whole rest of the game, unless you've got better upcast things, which you might actually, honestly, because there are some of these are kind of stinkers.
All right. Well, before you go on, I don't know if this is the place to discuss it at the time, but all right, you say your real slots end. Like, why do Mystic Arcanum not count as real?
Okay, so my thought process is Mystic Arcanums aren't codified as spell slots in the same way. You can't like know 7 6th level spells and use the Mystic Arcanum 6th level slot for it. You have to cast whatever you got the Mystic Arcanum at using that spell slot. Using that, not spell slot, using that feature. So like your 6th level Mystic Arcanum is only ever that 6th level spell. These spell slots function like spell slots. You can cast any of the spells you know using these spell slots.
Right.
And that's why 5th level spells are like, there's a notable difference between these and Mystic Arcanums.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we don't have to get into that anymore.
Well, yeah, we'll cover that when we get to 6th and 7th, 8th, 9th level spells.
But for now, this what do you think of this list?
Kind of dookie.
Yeah. I was able to pick 3 spells that I said, okay, I kind of want these. And the last 2, I don't even want them. I just have to fill out this list.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I'm happy. I would put all 5 of my top 5 on my sheet. I know you won't put one of them on your sheet, but I know I would put 5 of them on my sheet.
All right, I know one of yours.
Yeah,
we've had this. It's the same one we've had like 3 times already.
I know, but it has some of my favorite words. We'll cover it shortly.
Well, your pick for the worst, was that an easy one?
There's so many, but obviously one is worse than all the others.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I will say there's one other that didn't quite make my list that I think could. And for that reason, I'm like, I think like 6 of these are actually pretty castable. That's not a bad place to be. Fun fact, as you keep learning spells as warlocks, you just got to keep jamming these things on it. Like, well, I got all the 5th level spells. I better look at the 4th level and 3rd level slots, right? Because you need something whenever you gain levels and learn new spells that you only have the 3 spell slots for. Because like you don't stop learning new spells as you level up as warlock. You'll just have a bunch that you're competing for the same 3 slots for the rest of your life.
You know what? That's kind of, I actually put some thought into that this time, and like that's why some of these didn't appeal to me, because I could be upcasting a similar effect that feels more powerful than this one.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Yeah, the one of them in particular is like, ugh, I don't want to be having to spend my actions on this, but it's probably technically fine. And the other ones of these are, I think there are moments where I would cast every single one of the spells I picked, minus the last one maybe. Like that, like when I say that, I mean I could see it being in my toolbox as a thing I'd want to pull out for niche scenarios. The last one I kind of have to build towards, but
all right.
Want to dive in?
I'm predicting we're gonna have some different lists.
But
let's find out. All right, you go ahead and kick this one off.
Okay, it's not my number 5, the fun one, so I won't start with it. I'll start with Wall of Light, which is my actual number 5. The big blinding wall. You can spend actions to shoot beams of lasers at people to blind people again. This is a fixed wall, so like the creature takes the damage when the wall appears, and whenever it ends its turn in the wall, it takes the damage, but it also comes with the blind up front, so you're getting more than just the damage, and then you can also guarantee additional uses from it if you need more ways to use the blind. I actually like this a lot on warlocks that aren't blasters nor blade locks. This is like a fine 9th level fantasy that you're not going to be that upset with spending your action on. You can just be like, okay, great, I'm doing familiar things. It's got its bonus action fear or whatever as the Quasit, or I've got a bunch of utility things that I've been working around with. I can cast a wall, like get some blinds in, fire off spend 2 of my turns using my action for these things, my bonus action, setting up and doing other little bonus action stuff. I can see that playing out on a decent chunk of utility-based Warlock characters that'll make this a pretty reasonable thing to take.
Yeah, I looked at it, thought about it, and I thought, yeah, I've got enough damaging stuff, and I got summon spells that can do blindness or whatever. This one didn't excite me. But neither did some of my other picks. Yeah, Wall of Light. It just, I guess, is this the only Warlock wall spell?
Yes? Question mark. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with
maybe.
yes. Looking at the Caverns Creatures side, I do not see any other walls in the 5th level or lower, at least.
Yeah, maybe I should have picked this one. Here's my mindset. I wasn't even thinking Warlock. I was just thinking there's so many good wall spells. Wall of Light seems kind of like a dud. But if you need a wall and this is the only one available, maybe.
I would fight you on there are so many good wall spells. I think there's like one good wall spell. It is Wall of Force. Wall of Stone is fine, but those two, okay, there's 2 good wall spells. I wouldn't even consider this a good wall spell, like it being a wall. This is a line blind that you can spend actions on to shoot more blinds later. Like it's not really doing the job of a wall all that well. It's light.
All right. I guess I'll start off with one of my duds. I picked Teleportation Circle, and I didn't feel good about it.
I didn't pick Teleportation Circle. I didn't pick Teleportation Circle because I think it's more of a world building spell, but honestly, that might make it a better Warlock spell just because it's one of those things that you stick on your character sheet for like your 16th known spell. And you're like, you're done learning new spells. You might as well jam this one on there, and then you can have the times where you will actually use it with 3 or 4 times a campaign. And that makes it not nothing.
That's the part of it that excites me is the part that involves casting it in the same place every day for a year, and that's not happening.
No, sure isn't. Or if it is, it's like in over a year of downtime, I got this at the scroll instead. Like it's not a real thing that you're busting out session to session. I still think having that like access to it is probably fine. I can envision there being real games where teleportation circles are a big element of it, and they act as a fast travel back to your base. And having that as just okay, we just need to get a short rest and I can get us back. That seems actually pretty fine, right? Like a short rest access to teleportation circle, why not? It's not going to be like overtly powerful. It's not something you're using all the time, but as a little utility thing that you stick on there that is just because you have such a few slots to use in combat anyway, that list is already fighting really heavily. An out of combat utility thing that you are using at a different time than the other spells actually seems like a really great pick. I like this pick a lot, even though it didn't make my list. It probably should have over Wall of Light, honestly.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt about Wall of Light. Yeah. All right, what else do you have?
All right, my number 4, and I love this spell. God. So it costs 999 gold pieces. That should clue you into what it is. This is Infernal Calling, baby. It's got, I'm going to read these beautiful lines. The devil is unfriendly towards you and your companions. Yes, we're in for a treat here. So yeah, this is like you summon an angry thing trying to kill you, and you issue it verbal commands that if it breaks free, it just tries to kill you. But a lot of the time, it's like a summon effect that will just cause mayhem and destruction, and I love that for that reason. It's probably not better than the lower level options, to be honest. Like I like the demon ones more because demons are dumber, so they're just gonna like, oh, I'm in the world, eat, maim, kill. That's all I do. The devil's gonna like hold a grudge, but this is so much. You can have so much fun with Infernal Calling. This spell is so cool. I want to play a D&D adventure where all spells have this kind of consequence, right? I love conceptually, like, the burning hands actually burning your hands. I love conceptually magic being dangerous and volatile and, like, being an actual thing people are scared of. Because right now, there's no reason to be scared of spellcasters because they've got perfect fennec control of everything they're doing. There's no rhyme or reason as to why that summoned, beast is acting entirely in the control of a druid. No, I want a summoned beast that's like a real-ass wolf that's going to maul somebody if you leave it alone. And that's exactly what Infernal Calling is.
Yeah, if all summon spells were like that, then cool. I'd actually be really into that. But yeah, since there are some that I can control, I'll use those.
That's fair. Actually, losing can be very powerful. This is the kind of thing where you're like, all right, devil, kill all of the interlopers. And it goes, I hate your skin and will rip it from your bones. And then it goes and kills all the interlopers because it has to obey your commands. It's such cool. This is so iconically Warlock, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be fine sometimes. Other times it'll get somebody killed. And that's just all upgrades to me. I'm like, yeah, I love it even more. It's a 2? High 2, though.
All right, yeah, that we've had this talk before.
Mhm.
Go
Go
watch
check our level 4th or
was it
3rd level
level
Warlock
fourth
videos.
and level third? Yes. All right. Let's get to the next one. I'm not super excited about. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I think I genuinely like this one, and I'd probably find fun and silly uses for it. I picked Mislead.
Mislead's one of the ones where I was also like, it's fine. I think this fits actually in a really similar camp to Teleportation Circle. So that makes it a decent pick.
So I don't think so. I think teleportation circle. Like, all right, so with a teleportation circle, there needs to be a permanent one somewhere that you want to get to. So I'm seeing this as like a escape device or something. Mislead, like you might never need it, but you can always find fun uses for it. Like,
So when I say I think it's like Teleportation Circle, I mean I think this is a spell that doesn't share a lot of cast time with other spells. This is a spell that
oh
when
yeah,
you want to cast Mislead, you've got a short rest before it and a short rest after to look forward to. So and you weren't going to need your damaging spells, you weren't going to need your summon spells, and that's where Mislead comes in. And it's like this is a pretty decent way to expand my repertoire of things I'm able to do.
yeah,
I'm never going to use it in adventuring, but whenever we're doing city stuff, sure, seems fun.
yeah. There you go. Out of combat utility.
Is it
That's,
better than invisibility? Not really.
I don't know, kind of, because like you can actually distract who you're trying to get past. Like, hey, I'm really over there, but you're actually invisible. So like, I guess probably not double the chances of them not to see you, but it feels that way.
Sure.
Like,
I also think there's something to be said for like this is kind of a second familiar as far as like you get a little person that you can see through their senses whenever you need to, right? Like this can act as a duplicate of you as long as you can reasonably get them places. And like getting them places reasonably is harder than it looks, right? Because they can't interact with anything physically. They're just not there. So like if your duplicate goes to go into a door, that's a barricade that they have to figure out how to either phase through when no one's looking or like physically have someone else open for them and they can scoop past it, right? There's a little bit of cool like illusionist BS that I adore messing around with that comes into this like heavily. But then you can be in two places at once, literally. One of you is invisible doing shady business, listening to the Thieves Guild. The other one of you is in the tavern looking like you're where you're supposed to be, getting witnessed by the scoundrels and monsters that are expecting you to not be spying on them.
and I have no idea why this is included in there, but like, why can you move your illusion double your speed? Like, that's awesome, and it makes you look freaky fast and like more curious. But what was the thinking behind that?
So I would guess it's because you can take the dash action normally to move at double your speed, and this gives it a way to dash, right? Is you can have it walk
All right.
normally, or because it can't take any other actions, you can have it dash using its action. That's kind of where I
Okay.
see it.
Oh, shucks. So it just looks like it's running.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like some crazy freak moving really fast.
It's an
That
illusion. It can be that if you want, I guess, kind of.
No, I don't think it can. Now, I like it a little bit less now, but I think I can still find uses for it.
I'm sorry that I made it a little bit more logical and thus you hate it.
I don't hate it. I just don't. I pictured it as like a warlock, like kind of freaky vampire thing, where like they're scurrying along the street really, supernaturally fast. And that's not what it is now.
No.
Oh, it still probably would. Yeah, it would definitely still make this list.
My number 3 I'm expecting you to have. It's synaptic static.
Oh yeah, I got some tactic. So now I screwed up.
See?
Synaptic static. Yes.
It's hard. 86 damage in a big area that does a cool condition. Sure, I'm in. This isn't a spell you're going to often cast because it does something instantaneously, and warlocks love their spells to do a lot more than instantaneous effects. That being said, sometimes you need a big instantaneous effect, and this will be like, okay, we're way over our heads. There's a billion orcs. Static them. They're worse at fighting. Get them, and like that'll be a fine little utility case for it. I don't hate this on my sheet if I'm doing that kind of stuff with it.
I don't hate it either. In fact, I quite like it. Was it a 20-foot
20-foot radius sphere. It's fireball.
Sphere? Yeah. Yeah, you can screw up a lot of people with this. Let's see.
I like this has a duration, but doesn't cost your concentration. It muddles their thoughts for a minute, but you don't have to maintain concentration on their thoughts being muddled for the minus D6 to their ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws. Oh, sorry. It's only concentration saving throws to maintain concentration on spells. But,
Right.
those three things are still like, yeah, okay, mainly attack rolls. It's just debilitate their attack rolls a lot, stack on top of disadvantage, and then you got a big area that's only 2d6 damage under a fireball. Sign me up.
And I like that it's an intelligence saving throw.
But it doesn't affect things with low int scores.
Well, not super low, but you
Yeah.
know, like orcs or something.
Mhm.
You know, if you're not going to get like a big giant group of orc wizards.
That's true. There'll maybe be one or two, but most of the grunts are going to have that good old fashioned 7 or 8 int. It's my
Right.
favorite character int, honestly, is 8. Currently getting the opportunity to play an absolute himbo in a D&D campaign, and it's a great time. Just got an 8 int, can't read, having a blast, being the frattiest boy I've ever met in my life. 10 out of 10 would recommend being a stupid fighter that really loves how good he looks. God, Dungeons and Dragons is a great game. Anyway,
Yeah.
That's some Nat Static. Bob, what do you got next?
I don't know. Let me see. I don't think you're gonna have this one, but I have Far Step.
It was close to making mine. It was between that and Wall on my sheet. I did not include it.
I love the idea of blipping around, Eldritch blasting people. Good times.
We've had this
not
conversation.
necessary. Yes, not necessary. Yeah, Eldritch Blast already has a pretty good range.
120-foot range.
Yes. I just think it looks cool, and
sure, I agree. Definitely looks cool.
That's all I really have to say about it.
Sure. I will say, like,
I can't justify it with anything useful or practical.
This is also kind of, to me, feels a similar role as the teleportation circle as the other one, Mislead. This isn't something that I'm gonna ever want to cast in combat for the most part, but out of combat, I could see environments where this could be useful. And for that reason, it's definitely like I don't know if it's so much more useful that I take it over Dimension Door, which is also on your list, but like maybe. I think most of the time you care about getting the teleport once, and that distance on the teleport matters a lot, but sometimes there'll be some niche encounters, some niche environments where you'll be like, okay, I need a 60-foot teleport a lot. And then Far Step suddenly does that for you. You can teleport in and out of the buildings over and over again, like you're saving kids from a fire, or you teleport into the orphanage, grab an orphan, teleport out of the orphanage. Keep doing that kind of thing.
That's a great example. The one I just came up with was much worse. I was thinking there's some, you're making breakfast and there's eggs up in a nest. So you go up there, you get the eggs.
Are we Fiona from Shrek?
I don't know. Yeah, the orphanage is better.
Okay. That's such a good example. Yeah, using it to reach 3 extra feet to get eggs from the tree.
I'm talking about way up there.
Way up. Like, you'd have to climb to get up there. 60 feet is a way. Okay, yeah, sure. So yeah,
That's where the good eggs are.
I don't hate for what it's worth. I think we came into this being like, there are no good 5th level spells. I don't think we've talked about one that I've found to be like a whole miss. I think so far we're like, yeah, okay, these are fine. And I got 2 more.
I've got 1 more. Go ahead.
All right. Is it Hold Monster?
Yes.
That makes my number 1 so confusing to me, because I can't believe you didn't pick this one. It's so good. Anyway, Hold Monster is I had it lower earlier whenever I was organizing this, and then I kept thinking about it, and I was just like, oh yeah, when you need a Hold Monster, you need a Hold Monster, and it's yucky good when it's really excellent. Sure. It's still like the cost is very high, and if this misses, oh boy, does it feel horrendous. When it hits, it hits something different. You paralyze Tiamat, and it just stands there while your party tears it apart. You paralyze any horribly large, scary beastie, and all of a sudden they are just fodder for your team to just massacre. It's disgusting. But it has to hit. And if it ever misses, you're like, well, there goes a third of my options. So try and set it up, ideally.
All right, I'm trying to figure out what your number 1 is. Is it Dance Macabre?
It is Dance Macabre. Okay. I'm actually surprised that this didn't make your list. This thing is really good.
See, this is the one I was referring to at the beginning of the video, where I said, like, all right, you got a Summon Undead a couple levels ago. Upcast that.
I would much rather have 5 creatures than 1 upcast creature every single time. This is 5 smaller medium corpses animate to life using as zombies or skeletons, and then get bonuses based off of your modifiers. This thing is really good. Now, there's the condition of you need to carry around corpses with you, but it is you use a bonus action to command them around. It lasts for an hour. I will take 5 skeletons over a shadow spawn every day of the week. This is like, remember when we talked about any of the conjure spells? Conjure minor elementals is the first one that jumps to mind, but there's just innately a lot of power baked into having multiple things that can take actions. This is 5 things that can take actions. It's, this thing is solid. Like, genuinely a very powerful effect.
All right, man. I must be underestimating it. Plus, I don't know. I can't shake it. I just don't like the idea of skeletons shooting bows. I think it's stupid.
But it adds
friggin... Yeah. I mean, I get the numbers
plus
work
5
out.
to hit and damage.
Yes,
it's so good.
No, that is really good.
A volley of skeleton archers that are putting out plus 5 plus their base mod, but then D6 plus like 7 damage on hit. Are you kidding me? That's so good.
Yeah, it's good.
Just rain arrows from the sky, blot out the skies, kill them all.
Should have made.
I think it's really good. But, yeah, Dance Macabre is really good. I definitely think it should have made your list. To be fair, I don't hate any of your list. That's not true. I don't think Far Step deserves it. But everything other than Far Step, I think I would put instead of Wall of Light probably. I'm not a huge fan of Wall of Light, but I was like, yeah, it's fine. And then you mentioned a bunch of spells that contextually are actually really solid options to think about. So, whatever you're looking for in the moment, I think there are options here that you can pick up as the game progresses.
All right. Well, that was that. You want to go over your list again?
Yeah, my number 1, Dance Macabre. Number 2 is Hold Monster. Number 3, Synaptic Static. Number 4, Infernal Calling, baby. And number 5 was Wall of Light.
All right. I had Hold Monster, Far Step, Synaptic Static, Mislead, and Teleportation Circle.
Pretty different lists.
Yeah.
Only had 2 the same, right? Just Hold Monster and Synaptic Static?
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Solid.
I think we might have a same worst.
You can go first, but I know it's contact other plane. Sorry.
It absolutely is, yes. That hits all my bugaboos.
It's for some reason they're like, it'd be too powerful for you to try this, so you have to make a DC 15 int save or take 66 damage for having the audacity to try to use this.
And go insane.
Go insane. Let's not remove that text. That text is very important. So remember, like, we were talking about it, you were talking about Infernal Calling being like, oh, the thing might kill you and that kind of crap. Yeah. This just shoots you in the head for using it. And where Infernal Calling, you get like a summonable evil devil that kills things. The best case scenario you get here is cryptic answers from God. What?
Yeah.
Or not even necessarily God. It might be like one of God's subordinates. Yeah, no thanks. Hard pass. Hot trash.
This is just another, and we didn't even get to why I hate it the worst. I just don't like that whole metagaming thing. Like, this is a higher level DM. Please tell me what to do. And then,
fun fact. Oh yeah, go for it.
No, and then you might get shot in the head, go insane.
Yeah. This is a ritual spell, and warlocks are not innately ritual casters, which means you have to spend spell slots on this, where wizards don't. But neither class is ever casting it, so I guess that's kind of moot. Honorable mention, enervation. That's definitely how you say that word. Oh boy, is the spell dookie. This is like everything that makes Vampiric Touch and Witch Bolt bad married as a 5th level spell, where you're doing not enough damage and healing not enough. You're wasting actions on this consistently. Yeah, enervation is horrendous, but it does do damage. It helps you end an encounter, or Contact Other Plane just tries to help you end your life. So it is definitely worse than enervation.
So to be clear, was Contact Other Plane your pick as well?
Yep, it is the worst, just objectively. I can't say any of the ones are worse than this. This is horrendous. Dream isn't great either, for what it's worth, but like again, that kind of can do a thing.
Yeah, these are the spells. All right, these are all the spells I was referring to when I said this list was crap. But I guess we did, pick the best berries.
Yeah, I think like half the list is castable. That's not a bad place for a spell list to be, honestly.
No,
it just means we should be trimming more fat from this edition. Just anything that we didn't mention, just cut it out. Don't need it. Make the books shorter. Make players have an easier time engaging with it. Don't make enervation better. Just cut it from the game.
No, I disagree. Make enervation, because I like, even back when we were talking about Vampiric Touch, I want to use that. I like that fantasy, that effect.
Mm.
But yeah, make one that's worth it.
Maybe one day we will.
All right, yes, perhaps. That's another conversation though.
Sure.
All right, that was our top 5, level 5 Warlock spells. So let us know what you think. Let us know your list down in the comments and what you thought of our lists and all your wonderful opinions. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.